What if I told you a woman in Nepal could marry 3 men? Nepal is the ultimate destination for mountain lovers and thrill seekers chasing the chance to conquer the roof of the world. But beyond Everest, the nation's towering pride, lies a story far more wild and surprising. It's the birthplace of the Buddha, a land where dogs are honored in sacred rituals, and home to some of the fiercest mercenary warriors the world has ever known. What's the full story? And what else is waiting to be discovered? Watch the full video to uncover Nepal's hidden truths. Fact number 3 will leave you speechless. '15. The Sacred Days of Tihar, Nepal's unique tribute to animals. Tihar, also known as Diwali, is a 5-day festival that illuminates the hearts and homes of those who celebrate it. But what makes Tihar truly fascinating is how it honors not just the deities, but the animals that share our world. On the first day, known as Kak Chi Ha, people pay tribute to crows. Before breakfast, families prepare a plate of food on a bed of leaves and place it outside, inviting the crows to feast. In Nepali tradition, crows are believed to drink the water of life. It is said that if a crow dies, life on earth will end, so crows are left unharmed and allowed to flourish. This day is a reminder of the fragile yet precious connection between life and the creatures around us. The second day, called Kuku Chiha, is dedicated to dogs, who are revered as mankind's most loyal companions. According to local belief, dogs serve as messengers of Chamaraj, the god of the underworld. On this day, dogs receive a tika, a red dot on their foreheads, and are adorned with flower garlands. They are treated to special meals, showing the affection and respect people have for these faithful animals that protect and accompany us through life. The third day, Lamsi Puja, is the most significant day of the festival. It celebrates cows, which hold great reverence, especially among Hindus. Cow meat is considered sacred, and consuming it is forbidden. During Lamsa Puja, cows are given a tika on their foreheads, adorned with flowers, and treated to delicious meals. To cleanse their bodies and souls, people sprinkle cow dung around their homes and even drink a small amount of cow urine. This ritual reinforces the sacred bond between humans and cows, symbolizing purity and devotion. Cows are worshipped, dogs are cherished. So what about humans? Find out the surprising answer in the next part of this travel documentary. '14. Kumari, where a young girl embodies a goddess. In Kathmandu, a little girl becomes a living goddess worshipped, isolated, and never allowed to walk barefoot. But how is she chosen? And what happens when her divinity ends? The capital of Nepal has a centuries-old tradition of worshipping Kumari, the living goddess. Kumari is a young girl selected to embody the goddess Tilicho, a deity revered by the people of Nepal. The girl chosen to become Kumari is believed to represent the connection between humans and the divine, acting as a spiritual protector for the country. The selection process is rigorous and highly detailed. The chosen girl must come from a noble family, usually from the Sakya clan, and her horoscope must align with the reigning kings to ensure harmony. The girl must also pass 37 tests conducted by religious elders. These tests assess her physical appearance, health, and spiritual qualities. Some of the initial criteria include flawless skin, a soft, delicate body, and calmness during ritual events. One test involves witnessing a sacrificial ceremony where the girl must remain unshaken without crying or even flinching. If she passes all tests, she is taken to the Kumari Gar, the palace where she will live in isolation. But the most mysterious test comes at the very end. Inside a dark, silent room, the young girl must identify sacred objects once used by former Kumaris, a ritual eerily similar to the Tibetan method of finding a reincarnated Dalai Lama, and believed to be the final proof of her divine calling. Once chosen, the Kumari is treated as a living goddess, always adorned in red, with her hair styled high and a painted eye on her forehead, symbolizing her divine nature. She is carried around in a palanquin or carried by others, never touching the ground to avoid impurity. The Kumari remains a goddess until her first menstruation, after which she is replaced with a new girl. Reintegrating into society can be challenging for the former Kumari, as many believe that marrying a former living goddess brings misfortune. 13. Nepal, the most unique nation in the world. What if I told you there's a country where 2025 is already 2082, and people thrive in the world's most treacherous mountains? Welcome to Nepal, a small but mighty nation, landlocked between two giants, China to the north and India to the south. Picture a rugged paradise, about the size of Arkansas, spanning just 147,181 square kilometers, yet 3/4 of it is draped in towering mountains, including the legendary Everest. This isn't just any terrain, it's some of the most jaw-dropping, treacherous landscape on Earth, where nature dares you to stand in awe. Nepal's home to 30 million souls, a vibrant mix of over 142 ethnic groups, from the proud Nepali of Indian descent to the resilient Sherpa and Tamang, each weaving their own thread into a rich cultural tapestry. With 123 languages echoing through its valleys, Nepal's diversity is a living, breathing story of harmony that pulls you in, makes you feel connected to something bigger. Ever heard of a calendar that runs 56 years ahead of ours? That's Nepal's Bikram Sambat. While we're in 2025, they're already living in 2082, a quirky twist that sparks the imagination. Why does this faraway land tug at our hearts? It's the underdog spirit, the way its people thrive in a place so wild and untamed, inviting us to wonder about their lives, their stories. Stick with me, because we're about to uncover 15 mind-blowing facts about Nepal that'll leave you amazed, maybe even a little changed. Let's dive into this adventure together. You won't believe what's coming next. 12. The cost of life in Nepal. From affordable meals to harsh mountain climates. Nepal is one of the most affordable countries in the world, with a cost of living that is remarkably low compared to many other nations. The lives of its people are deeply rooted in agriculture, livestock farming, and tourism, with the latter playing a crucial role in the country's economy. The country's primary source of income is from mountain tourism, especially from visitors seeking to conquer the iconic Mount Everest. Street food in Nepal offers an inexpensive yet delicious experience. A typical meal from a street vendor will cost between $1 and $2, making it an affordable option for both locals and travelers alike. These meals often consist of traditional Nepali dishes like momo dumplings and dal bhat lentil soup with rice, which provide both nutrition and satisfaction at a minimal cost. Accommodation is equally budget-friendly, with options ranging from $5 to $20 per night in popular tourist areas. For budget travelers or those just passing through the trekking routes leading to Everest Base Camp, these affordable accommodations are an excellent choice. Nepal's weather can be extremely harsh, especially in the higher altitudes near Mount Everest. Temperatures can drop well below freezing, often reaching as low as -20 degrees Celsius, about -4 degrees Fahrenheit. The extreme cold, combined with strong winds, creates a challenging environment for both locals and tourists. Despite these challenges, the people of Nepal have adapted to the harsh conditions, and their resilience is evident in every aspect of their daily lives. Their hospitality and warm-hearted nature stand in stark contrast to the cold, harsh weather they endure, offering a sense of community and safety to those who journey to this remote part of the world. 11. Why dal bhat is the lifeblood of Nepalese life and culture. Dal bhat, a simple yet nourishing dish, is the cornerstone of Nepalese cuisine. Consisting of steamed rice, bhat, and lentil soup, dal, this meal is a staple for the people of Nepal, often consumed twice a day. Known for its high energy content, dal bhat is packed with essential nutrients, providing the occupation the necessary fuel for daily activities in the challenging high-altitude environment. It typically costs around $1 to $2 at local restaurants or street vendors. The phrase, dal bhat power 24 hours, reflects the dish's importance in sustaining the Nepalese population, especially those living in remote areas or working in physically demanding jobs like farming and trekking. One of the advantages of dal bhat is its ability to be stored and preserved for long periods. The lentil soup can be kept in a cool place for a few days, and the rice can be reheated without losing its quality. This makes it an ideal meal for people living in remote areas where fresh ingredients may not be easily accessible. Its durability, combined with its low cost, makes dal bhat a practical and sustaining dish for daily life in Nepal. 10. Growing up without knowing dad. The unique family structure in Nepal. In the remote villages of Nepal's rugged Himalayas, a tradition so unique it might just shock you and bind families in a way you've never imagined. Here, in a land where survival demands unity, some women practice polyandry, marrying multiple brothers to preserve the family's scarce farmland by staying united. It's unbelievable, yet true. Typically, the oldest son chooses the bride, and then the younger brothers marry her as well when they're old enough. In many cases, the wife cares for her future husbands until they're ready to marry her. This practice is not only a solution to land scarcity, but is also seen as a form of protection for women. If one husband dies, the woman is not left alone, as she still has other husbands to support her. The men see this arrangement as natural and beneficial, and there's generally no jealousy or rivalry between them. They take turns handling the daily chores like cooking, washing clothes, and taking care of the children. The wife manages the finances and oversees the household. Interestingly, the children born into these families don't know which man is their father, and they call all the men dad. While this practice is similar to customs in other areas of the Tibetan Plateau, it's important to note that Nepal also faces challenges with child marriage. Even though it's illegal since 1963, statistics show that 4 out of 10 girls in Nepal are still married before the age of 18. These young girls, who should be in school, are instead becoming mothers and handling domestic work. Poverty, lack of education, and social pressures continue to drive child marriages. Although Nepal has set a goal to end child marriage by 2030, the government acknowledges that real progress will require addressing the underlying causes, including deep-rooted traditions and economic hardship. 9. Nepal's sacred cows, a reminder to honor local traditions. In Nepal, cows are considered sacred animals, particularly in Hinduism, which is the dominant religion in the country. The cow symbolizes purity, fertility, and nonviolence, making it a revered figure in religious and cultural practices. As a result, the consumption of beef is prohibited and seen as deeply disrespectful to Hindu beliefs. Nepal's legal framework bans the slaughter of cows, and eating beef is considered an offense against religious customs. During Hindu festivals, cows are often honored with ceremonies, adorned with tikka red powder, and given special treatment, reflecting their spiritual significance. Despite the country's official stance against beef, many non-Hindu communities, particularly those from ethnic groups such as the Nuer or Tamang, have historically consumed beef, especially in private or within their own communities. In 2015, a restaurant in Kathmandu, which was popular with both locals and tourists, made headlines for openly serving beef. The restaurant's actions sparked public outcry, especially from Hindu communities, as it violated the cultural and religious norms that prohibit beef consumption. This incident highlighted the cultural clash between Nepal's traditional Hindu values and the diverse practices of its multi-ethnic population. The respect for cows is tied to the principle of ahimsa, or non-violence, which encourages Hindus to avoid causing harm to any living being. So, if you ever visit Nepal, be sure to avoid eating beef or harming any animals, as it's deeply disrespectful to local customs and religious beliefs. 8. Public displays of affection in Nepal. What you need to know. When you visit Nepal, the breathtaking landscapes and vibrant culture will leave you in awe, but to truly appreciate the experience, it is important to understand and respect the local customs. Public displays of affection are generally frowned upon in Nepal, especially in rural areas or religious settings. Holding hands or kissing in public is considered inappropriate and disrespectful to local values. To show respect for Nepalese culture, it's important to be mindful of how you carry yourself in public spaces. Additionally, modest dress is crucial when visiting religious sites or rural villages. Visitors should ensure their shoulders and knees are covered, as revealing clothing can be seen as disrespectful. This practice is rooted in the cultural and religious norms of the country, where modesty is valued. When interacting with locals, it's customary to use the right hand for giving and receiving gifts or food. The left hand is considered impure in many South Asian cultures, and using it can be seen as a sign of disrespect. Lastly, before entering someone's home or a place of worship, it's customary to remove your shoes. This is a mark of respect and cleanliness, as shoes are seen as impure in these spaces. By following these simple guidelines, you'll not only show respect for Nepalese traditions, but also enrich your travel experience. 7. Nepal's flag, a symbol like no other. When you think of the shape of a flag, what comes to mind? Is it rectangular or square? Nepal's flag, however, is unlike any other in the world. It consists of 2 stacked triangles, making it the only non-rectangular, non-square flag in existence. These triangles are not just a design choice, they hold deep symbolism. The upper triangle represents the towering Himalayas, while the 2 shapes reflect the 2 major religions of Nepal, Hinduism and Buddhism. The sun on the upper triangle symbolizes the vitality and strength of Nepal, while the moon on the lower triangle represents peace, often associated with the serene and cool mountain peaks. This unique flag design encapsulates Nepal's cultural and religious diversity, honoring both its geographical features and its spiritual heritage. The people of Nepal take great pride in their unique flag. It is a powerful symbol of their identity, culture, and history. 6. The capital of Nepal, a global hub for expats. Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal, has earned the title of the expat capital due to its vibrant and diverse expat community. Home to thousands of foreign nationals, Kathmandu offers a unique blend of cultural richness, affordability, and natural beauty that attracts people from around the world. As of recent estimates, there are about 30,000 to 40,000 expats living in Nepal, with many choosing Kathmandu as their base. Kathmandu is a hub for those seeking adventure, culture, and spirituality. The city's rich history, with iconic sites like the Swayambhunath Stupa, Monkey Temple, and the Buddhanath Stupa, attracts travelers, spiritual seekers, and those wanting to immerse themselves in Nepalese culture. Furthermore, Kathmandu serves as the gateway to the Himalayas, making it an ideal base for trekkers and mountaineers. The expat community in Kathmandu is diverse, with people coming from all over the globe, including countries like India, the United States, the United Kingdom, and many European nations. This international presence contributes to a cosmopolitan atmosphere, with plenty of restaurants, cafes, and shops catering to foreign tastes. What makes Kathmandu especially appealing to expats is its low cost of living compared to many Western cities. Rent in popular areas like Thamel or Patan can be as low as $150 to $400 per month for a modest apartment. In addition to affordable housing, expats enjoy inexpensive local food, with meals from street vendors costing around $1 to $2. Expats live like kings for $150 a month, but one wrong move like eating beef can spark a cultural firestorm. 5. Buddha was born in Nepal, not India. Discover the sacred site of Lumbini. Do you think Buddha was born in India? Many people might assume this, but the truth is that Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as the Buddha, was born in Lumbini, Nepal. This sacred site, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of the most important pilgrimage destinations for Buddhists around the world. The Maya Devi Temple, built at the spot where Buddha was born, draws millions of pilgrims who come to reflect, meditate, and honor the Buddha's teachings. In 2024, Lumbini welcomed over 1.17 million visitors, marking a significant milestone in its tourism history. This figure represents a 17.36% increase compared to the previous year, highlighting the growing global interest in this sacred site. Lumbini is not only significant for Buddhists, but also symbolizes peace and enlightenment. However, while Lumbini is a Buddhist site, Nepal itself is a predominantly Hindu country. Hinduism is the national religion, with around 81.3% of the population practicing it. Buddhism, in contrast, makes up about 9% of the population. This dual religious landscape is a fascinating feature of Nepal. The coexistence of both Hinduism and Buddhism has shaped the cultural and spiritual identity of the country. In fact, Many Nepali traditions blend elements from both religions, with shared festivals, rituals, and symbols. Despite Hinduism being the majority religion, the birthplace of Buddha remains a testament to Nepal's diverse and harmonious spiritual heritage. 4. The untouched gem of Asia that defied colonization. Have you ever wondered which countries in Asia managed to escape the grasp of colonial powers? Nepal is one of the rare gems in the region that has never been colonized, a fact that makes it stand out in world history. While many Asian countries fell under the control of European powers, Nepal remained untouched, fiercely preserving its sovereignty and cultural identity. The towering, impenetrable peaks of the Himalayas acted as natural fortresses, protecting the nation from foreign invasions and allowing it to remain independent throughout centuries of global conflict and colonization. This incredible feat of maintaining independence is a point of immense pride for Nepal, and it's reflected in every aspect of the country's culture. From the vibrant festivals to the deeply rooted traditions, Nepal has safeguarded its unique heritage against outside influence. A perfect example of this cultural preservation can be seen in the traditional clothing worn by Nepali people. Men don the Dara Suruwal, a distinct long coat tied at the waist, while women wear the graceful sari or kurta, garments that are both timeless and symbolic of Nepal's rich history. These traditional outfits are proudly worn during festivals and weddings, further emphasizing Nepal's unyielding connection to its roots, despite being surrounded by centuries of foreign influence. Today, Nepal continues to fiercely protect its territorial sovereignty, standing as a proud symbol of resilience and independence in the face of modern geopolitical challenges. Nepal's refusal to be colonized is not just a historical fact, it's a testament to the resilience and determination of its people to protect their heritage and independence. 3. The highest lake in the world, nestled in Nepal. Nepal is known for its breathtaking landscapes, often referred to as the Amazon of Asia due to its lush greenery and towering mountains. Among its natural wonders is Tilicho Lake, the highest lake in the world. Located at an elevation of 16,138 feet, about 4,919 meters. Nestled in the Annapurna range, this stunning lake attracts trekkers and nature enthusiasts from all over the world. The journey to Tilicho Lake is part of the famous Annapurna circuit, one of the most popular trekking routes in Nepal, offering trekkers spectacular views of snow-covered peaks, glaciers, and alpine terrain. Tilicho Lake's crystal-clear waters, surrounded by majestic mountains, create a serene and awe-inspiring sight, making it a dream destination for those who seek both adventure and tranquility. The challenging trek to the lake is rewarded with unparalleled views, making it a must-visit for trekking lovers and nature admirers. It stands as a testament to Nepal's incredible natural beauty and its status as a paradise for outdoor explorers. 2. The unsung heroes, those who conquer the world's tallest peak. If you've conquered the roof of the world, Everest, that's an incredible feat. Many have lost their lives attempting to summit this towering giant every year. What if I told you that there's a tribe that climbs Mount Everest every day? The Sherpa people, an ethnic group residing near Mount Everest, make the climb a part of their daily lives. Living in the shadow of Everest, the Sherpas are not only known for their remarkable mountaineering skills, but also for their unmatched ability to navigate the harshest terrains of the Himalayas. This ethnic group, native to the high-altitude regions of eastern Nepal, has helped guide countless explorers and climbers to the summit, playing an indispensable role in the history of Everest expeditions. But very few people know about them. Since 1922, Everest has taken over 300 lives, from icy falls to sudden storms. Picture this: the air's so thin you can barely breathe, and one misstep could send you plummeting. That's the daily reality for Sherpas, who face Everest's lethal storms and avalanches to guide climbers, knowing each trip could be their last. Yet, with unmatched grit, they risk it all daily to lead others through this frozen gauntlet. Sherpas are born with a unique physical advantage. Their bodies have adapted to the thin mountain air, giving them extraordinary stamina and lung capacity that allow them to thrive at altitudes where others would falter. Over 30,000 Sherpas live in Nepal, many of them in the Khumbu region, located at the base of Everest. They don't just live near the mountain, they are its stewards, guides, and protectors. The Sherpa's grit is like the American pioneers, carving a life from the wild. 1. The heart of Nepal, hospitality that feels like home. In Nepal, a place where every stranger feels like family, where the simple act of sharing a meal binds you to something deeper. Here, hospitality is the heartbeat of life. The Nepali people welcome you with open hearts, serving up plates of spicy dal bhat or steaming momos, each dish a warm handshake from their culture. Picture yourself at a weathered table, surrounded by smiles that remind you of home-cooked meals from your own past, making you feel part of a timeless human story. It's not just food, it's a gift of belonging that stirs the soul. Then there's Namaste, a greeting where hands meet, palms pressed, and a gentle namaste whispers respect. I see the good in you. It's a moment that cuts through the noise of the world, sparking a curiosity about the people who live with such grace amid the wild Himalayas. For us, who've seen life's highs and lows, this feels like a call to reconnect with what matters: community, respect, and shared moments. Thank you for watching until the end. We truly appreciate your time and interest in discovering new cultures with us. If you enjoyed this journey through Nepal's fascinating stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. We have many more surprising and meaningful destinations to explore together.
Have you ever seen those photos of India's jam-packed trains? You might think that's as crowded as it gets. Think again. There's a place where the chaos goes far beyond, where folks risk everything to snag a spot on a train, racing through impoverished rural areas or cramped cities. Here, traveling by train isn't just a mode of transport, it's a battle for survival. They're sprawled on roofs, hanging off sides, and even wedged in the tight gaps between train coaches. A train built for a few hundred ends up hauling thousands, like a pulsing human chain cutting through harsh lands. Worse, it's a place where every day is a scramble to stay alive amid poverty, injustice, and despair. People wade into toxic sewers without protective gear, scraping for bits of gold flushed away. A filthy, dangerous job, but it's their only means of survival, with no other choice. This is Bangladesh, saddled with the sad, grim label of the world's largest brothel. What's driven Bangladesh to this edge? Is this just the fate of a Muslim nation? Through 15 gritty truths, we dive into an epic story of guts, faith, and unstoppable drive, where every step beats the toughest odds. Want to know what'll shock you? Truth number 11 is gonna knock your socks off. A nation crushed by density. In Bangladesh, space is not a commodity, it's a crisis. Every square meter is a battleground for survival in one of the world's most densely packed nations. Cramming 175 million people into just 147,570 square kilometers, resulting in a population density of 1,333 people per square kilometer, the 8th highest in the world. In stark contrast, the United States has a density of just 36 people per square kilometer, 37 times lower, offering vast open spaces that Bangladesh can only dream of. Dhaka, the capital, is the epicenter of this crush, housing 21.7 million residents at a staggering 60,277 people per square kilometer. Streets choke with millions of rickshaws, yet only 60 traffic lights, most broken, attempt to impose order. Traffic jams stretch for 4 to 6 hours daily, a grinding reality that traps commuters in a cycle of frustration. This density shapes every aspect of life, from housing to jobs, creating a pressure cooker where survival demands ingenuity. Why do you think such extreme overcrowding persists in Dhaka? And what might it take to ease this burden? The answer lies partly in history. Once a prosperous region under Mughal rule, Bangladesh fell under British colonial exploitation after the 1757 Battle of Plassey, setting the stage for centuries of economic stagnation. Today, its infrastructure, like the 1917 railway system, creaks under the weight of modern demands, with little modernization to match its population boom. Have you ever been to Bangladesh or a place as crowded as it is? Tell us about it. 14. Dhaka, a city of chaos and resilience. Dhaka is more than just a city. It's a vibrant paradox where chaos and resilience intertwine. Its streets, teeming with rickshaws and pedestrians, seem to defy any concept of organized traffic. With virtually no functional traffic rules, simply navigating Dhaka tests one's patience and nerve. This sprawling metropolis, encompassing 360 square kilometers, is a constant struggle for its millions of inhabitants, competing for space, jobs, and essential resources. Yet, within this apparent disorder, Dhaka pulsates with an undeniable energy. Markets overflow with vendors, mosques resonate with prayers, and tight-knit communities form strong bonds in the face of relentless adversity. As the heart of Bangladesh's Islamic culture, home to 148 million Muslims, the city carries a profound spiritual dimension, particularly during the Dhaka Pilgrimage Festival. This event, the world's second largest Islamic gathering after Hajj, draws millions, transforming Dhaka into an immense and fervent expression of faith. In this travel documentary, Dhaka reveals itself as a microcosm of Bangladesh's broader challenges, a place where each day stands as a powerful testament to human endurance. The city's struggles, overcrowding, pollution, and pervasive poverty mirror the nation's own, yet its spirit remains unbroken, fueled by the enduring hope for a brighter tomorrow. 13. Legalize prostitution, a grim economic strategy. Since 2000, Bangladesh has legalized prostitution, regulating an industry that employs roughly 100,000 workers, including girls as young as 7. This policy, rooted in economic desperation, seeks to generate revenue in a nation where 22 million live below the poverty line. Brothels like Kandapara and Daulatdia, under government oversight, stand as grim symbols of a system that commodifies human dignity to combat poverty. Women and girls, often trafficked or pushed by impoverished families, enter this trade to survive, facing relentless stigma, violence, and exploitation. The policy highlights a failure to tackle root causes, lack of education, job opportunities, and social safety nets, leaving vulnerable groups with no alternatives. Legalization has strengthened patriarchal and capitalist systems, benefiting brothel owners and the state, while female sex workers endure economic and sexual exploitation. Despite non-governmental organization efforts to provide health care and education for workers and children, social stigma and inadequate enforcement perpetuate the cycle of abuse. This harsh reality underscores Bangladesh's economic constraints, where survival often trumps human rights and dignity becomes a casualty in the fight against poverty. What do you think about Bangladeshi women? Watch the entire video to catch every detail of the incredible story of Bangladesh's people. 12. The tragedy of child marriage. Bangladesh bears the grim title of Asia's highest child marriage rate, with 1/3 of girls wed before age 15 and 59% before 18. Poverty fuels this custom as families see daughters as financial burdens demanding food, clothing, and hefty dowries. Marrying girls early shifts these costs, but at a devastating toll. Education, autonomy, and childhood vanish. Many young brides, some barely teens, are thrust into households where they must serve not only their husbands, but also their fathers-in-law, performing grueling domestic tasks and enduring patriarchal control. This dual servitude often traps them in cycles of abuse and subservience with little recourse. Dowries, typically gold, are cultural linchpins, with affluent families paying substantial sums to ensure better prospects for their daughters. In Dhaka's Tanjim Bazaar, 3,000 goldsmiths profit from this demand, but poor families borrow heavily or sell possessions to meet expectations, plunging deeper into debt. UNICEF reports that child brides face higher risks of domestic violence and health complications, with 22% giving birth before 15. Cultural norms and lack of enforcement perpetuate this crisis despite legal bans. Child marriage reflects Bangladesh's struggle with gender inequality, robbing girls of futures and chaining them to poverty's grip. 11. Train roof riding, a deadly gamble. The image of passengers perched on train roofs is synonymous with Bangladesh's transportation crisis. With interiors packed beyond capacity, many climb atop trains, braving a 2-meter wide curved surface with no handrails, At speeds of 30 kilometers per hour or more, a single misstep or rain-slicked roof can be fatal. Low bridges and narrow tracks add to the peril. Yet, roof riding persists, driven by necessity and a lack of alternatives. Though illegal, authorities turn a blind eye, acknowledging the impossibility of enforcing bans amidst such demand. Each year, falls claim lives, a grim toll that passengers accept as part of the journey. For young men like those selling snacks on train roofs, this precarious perch is a workplace, their nimble steps a dance with danger. This practice, born of overcrowding and poverty, is a haunting symbol of Bangladesh's systemic failures, yet also a testament to its people's willingness to risk everything for a chance at something more. 10. Slum life trapped in despair. The sprawling slums of Dhaka, where a staggering 40% of the city's population is crammed together, serve as a harsh, in-your-face reminder of the deep-seated poverty that still grips Bangladesh. Take Korail, the granddaddy of them all. It's a mind-bogglingly dense world, packing around 322,000 souls into every single square kilometer. Imagine a landscape of pure filth, scurrying rats as common as pigeons in a park, and makeshift shelters cobbled together from whatever scraps people can find. While families might do everything in their power to avoid these grim zones, millions upon millions have absolutely no other option. They're stuck living cheek by jowl with mountains of festering garbage and the constant threat of disease lurking around every corner. Basic necessities that most of us take for granted, things like clean drinking water that doesn't make you sick, even halfway decent sanitation and a reliable flicker of electricity, are brutally scarce commodities here. This lack of the bare minimum traps the residents in a vicious, seemingly unbreakable cycle of deprivation that stretches from one generation to the next. You see kids barely old enough to tie their own shoes wandering through this squalor, desperately scavenging for scraps of food or trying to hawk cheap trinkets to passers-by. Their futures, already fragile, are further dimmed by the almost complete absence of educational opportunities. The sheer density of these slums isn't just a local problem. It's a stark microcosm of Dhaka's larger urban crisis, amplifying already significant health risks and contributing to a palpable sense of social decay. And yet, even within these incredibly bleak confines, the human spirit flickers stubbornly. Tight-knit communities somehow manage to form, people sharing their meager resources with a generosity that's both humbling and heartbreaking. They cling to even the faintest glimmer of hope for a better tomorrow. This stark, almost unbelievable contrast between the abject squalor of a place like Korail and the vibrant, bustling energy of Dhaka's markets perfectly underscores the deep and pervasive inequality that runs through the very fabric of Bangladeshi society. A powerful and recurring theme that echoes throughout this entire narrative of struggle and resilience. 9. Rickshaw pullers, the human cost of labor. In Dhaka's bustling streets, rickshaw pullers are the city's heartbeat, pedaling 90-kilogram vehicles through unforgiving traffic. Earning about $3 daily, these Bangladeshi workers toil 7 days a week, their bodies worn down by relentless strain. Years of grueling labor leave many with crippling leg and back injuries, cutting life expectancy to an average of just 40 years. Living in cramped shacks provided by garage owners, unable to afford proper housing, they pour their meager earnings into supporting families, often with dreams of funding their daughters' dowries and education to break the cycle of poverty. The physical and emotional toll of rickshaw pulling is staggering, yet it remains a lifeline for millions in a nation flooded with cheap labor. Constant traffic accidents and ever-present danger further shorten already fragile lives, but these pullers press on, driven by love for their loved ones. Their story, a cornerstone of this travel documentary, lays bare the human cost of Bangladesh's economic desperation, where survival hinges on daily sacrifice. 8. Child labor and lost childhoods. Bangladesh's poverty steals childhoods, with over 450,000 street children fending for themselves. Many boys, aged 7, sell food at train stations, racing against time to earn pennies before trains depart. Supporting a father and siblings after their mother's death, a Pratik's life is a microcosm of the 33 million children living in poverty. Over half face extreme deprivation, with a 71.8% literacy rate among the poorest. Education, a distant dream, leaves many vulnerable to theft, violence, and exploitation. Girls fare worse, with 82.9% of street children facing abuse and 49.8% enduring workplace violence. These children, scavenging or laboring, embody Bangladesh's failure to protect its youngest. Yet their resilience, playing in groups or dreaming of better days, hints at an unbreakable spirit. How can a nation so rich in culture and faith fail to shield its children from such hardship? This question haunts the streets of Dhaka, where innocence battles survival. 7. Sewer gold panning, a toxic trade. In Dhaka's gold market shadows, Bangladeshi workers plunge into foul sewers to pan for gold dust, a desperate and deadly trade. Monthly, they endure rancid stench and toxic chemicals, dredging sludge from drains behind jewelry shops. The grueling process, filtering mud, dissolving impurities with acid and heating mercury, produces mere grams of gold, worth $11 after days of labor. Split among small groups, each worker earns under $4, a meager reward for risking lung, brain, and liver damage. Without protective gear, these panners face shortened lives, yet they toil on, driven by hopes of funding their children's education. Once a viable trade, sewer panning fades as gold yields dwindle, with only 50 workers left in Dhaka. This toxic cycle pollutes waterways and poisons communities, amplifying poverty's toll. 6. Economic stagnation and foreign dependence. Bangladesh's economy, still heavily anchored in agriculture and the garment industry, sadly remains one of the least economically developed nations in South Asia. Having carried the United Nations least developed country classification for over half a century, it's significantly reliant on foreign aid, a dependence that really highlights the ongoing struggle for self-sufficiency. It's a tough pill to swallow when you consider that this region was once quite prosperous. The decline really took hold during British colonial rule, where the focus was squarely on pulling out resources rather than fostering any real internal development. Fast forward to today, and you see industries like garment manufacturing, while a major employer, often operate by exploiting incredibly cheap labor. We're talking about folks working grueling 15-hour shifts for a pittance, sometimes as little as $2 measly a day. This inherent economic fragility is a major driver of persistent poverty, severely limiting the country's ability to invest in crucial areas like modern infrastructure or a robust education system. Now, on the international stage, Bangladesh has pursued a commendable, peaceful foreign policy. And while that certainly fostered regional stability, it also deepens its ties to external financial support. This reliance naturally raises some serious questions about national sovereignty and the true pace of progress. The big question hanging in the air is whether Bangladesh can truly break free from this seemingly endless cycle of dependence, or will it remain perpetually tethered to the ebb and flow of international assistance? The answer, it seems, hinges on some serious systemic reforms, a monumental and frankly daunting undertaking in a country grappling with the sheer scale of its population and its many complex challenges. It's a situation where the desire for progress is definitely there, but the economic realities create some pretty significant hurdles to overcome. 5. Infrastructure in crisis. Bangladesh's infrastructure feels like it's straight out of a history book, a colonial-era artifact utterly overwhelmed by today's demands. Take the railway system, practically untouched since way back in 1917. It's creaking and groaning under the strain of millions of passengers, making delays and breakdowns just another part of the daily grind. And don't even get started on Dhaka's urban planning, or rather, the distinct lack thereof. This sprawling city, a mere 140 square miles, is bursting at the seams with a staggering 21.7 million people. The result? Gridlock that eats up hours, sanitation that's frankly inadequate, and a power grid that throws more fits than a toddler denied candy. Meanwhile, slums just keep popping up, an unchecked symptom of a system struggling to cope. This failure to modernize isn't just an inconvenience, it amplifies the everyday struggles of ordinary folks, turning simple things like getting to work or finding clean water into major hurdles. Even something as fundamental as healthcare, which can run you about $5 to $6 per visit, is simply out of reach for most citizens, when you consider the average monthly income hovers around just $30.50. This infrastructure crisis, a constant backdrop to every single story we're capturing for this travel documentary, effectively traps Bangladesh in a never-ending game of catch-up. The ambition and drive of its people are palpable, but the crumbling infrastructure acts like a lead weight, constantly holding the nation back from realizing its full potential. It's a stark reminder that progress can only go as far as the roads, the power lines, and the basic systems allow. 4. Health and safety, a sacrificed future. Labor in Bangladesh is a perilous gamble with health and safety. Rickshaw pullers pedaling heavy loads through chaotic streets face chronic leg and back injuries, their bodies breaking down by age 40. Sewer cleaners inhale toxic fumes, risking lung, brain, and liver damage from acid and mercury exposure. Factory workers, mostly women, endure 15-hour shifts in garment sweatshops, where collapsing buildings and fires have claimed thousands of lives. A 2013 factory collapse killed 1,134 workers, exposing the lack of safety standards. Street children, 82.9% of whom report abuse, toil in hazardous conditions from scavenging to street vending. Healthcare, costing up to approximately $5 per visit, is unaffordable for most, leaving injuries and illnesses untreated. With no safety regulations or protective gear, occupational hazards shorten lives, a silent epidemic eroding Bangladesh's labor force. Non-governmental organizations like the Bangladesh Rural Advancement Committee push for workplace reforms, but progress is slow. Workers accept these risks, driven by hope for their children's futures, embodying a tragic paradox. Resilience blooms, but at a devastating cost to health and longevity. 3. The plight of women and children. Women and children in Bangladesh endure the harshest weight of the nation's social struggles. Beyond child marriage, women face scarce opportunities, often funneled into prostitution or grueling low-wage jobs like garment work, earning as little as $2 daily for 15-hour shifts. Education, a key to empowerment, remains out of reach for most, with only 12% of girls in poor areas completing secondary school, perpetuating cycles of dependence. Children, especially girls, are profoundly vulnerable. 30.1% of street children face total deprivation, scavenging or laboring to survive. Boys toil to support families while girls are wed early to ease financial burdens, often before age 15. These inequities, entrenched in poverty and patriarchal traditions, marginalize half the population, stifling progress. Yet, glimmers of change emerge as parents sacrifice to educate daughters, defying norms in small but bold acts. Community programs, though underfunded, offer literacy and vocational training, planting seeds for empowerment. This struggle, woven into Bangladesh's narrative, underscores an urgent need for social reform to break the chains of inequality and give women and children a fighting chance for a brighter future. 2. The Pilgrimage Festival, Faith in Overdrive. Every year, Dhaka hosts a pilgrimage festival that rivals Mecca's Hajj in magnitude, drawing millions of Muslim devotees. This event is a spectacle of faith, but also a stark illustration of Bangladesh's logistical nightmares. Trains, the primary mode of transport, become human sardine cans, carrying thousands beyond their capacity. Passengers cram into compartments, spill onto roofs, and cling to the sides, risking death to fulfill a sacred duty. The railway, built in 1917 under British rule, is woefully outdated, with frequent breakdowns and unpredictable schedules. A 200-kilometer journey can take 6 hours or more, punctuated by 15 stops where crowds surge aboard, intensifying the chaos. For devotees preparing months ahead, the journey is a test of endurance, with no guarantee of a seat or even safety. The festival's scale, second only to Hajj, underscores Bangladesh's deep Muslim roots, but also its struggle to accommodate its faithful. How does such a massive gathering reflect both the strength and the strain of Bangladesh's cultural identity? The answer lies in the balance between devotion and desperation, where spiritual aspiration collides with physical reality. One, resilience and hope amid despair. Bangladesh's hardships do not tell its full story. Its people's resilience shines through relentless adversity. Across crowded cities and rural expanses, Bangladeshis toil in grueling jobs, pulling rickshaws, panning sewers, enduring chaotic pilgrimages, driven by dreams of brighter futures for their children. Many pour meager earnings into education, a beacon of hope in a nation where illiteracy traps millions. Parents sacrifice to send kids to school, breaking poverty's grip, one lesson at a time. The Dhaka pilgrimage, a chaotic yet profound display of faith, unites millions, reflecting a collective spirit that defies despair. Community networks, from slum cooperatives to village mosques, foster solidarity, proving that hope thrives even in scarcity. What does it reveal about a people who, against crushing odds, still chase progress, and their unyielding spirit, captured in this travel documentary, hints at a future where possibility outshines uncertainty? As Bangladesh battles poverty, overcrowding, and systemic woes, its people's tenacity weaves a thread of optimism, suggesting change, however gradual, is within grasp. This travel documentary has peeled back Bangladesh's layers, revealing a land scarred by poverty, yet pulsing with defiance. From overcrowded trains to toxic sewers, its challenges are stark, but so is its resilience. The nation's heart lies in its people. Parents dreaming of educated children, pilgrims seeking spiritual solace, workers enduring for family. Bangladesh stands at a crossroads, its future hinting on reforms to education, infrastructure, and equality. Yet, its greatest asset is clear, a spirit that refuses to break. As the world watches, Bangladesh's story reminds us that even in the darkest struggles, humanity's capacity for hope can light the way forward.
What if I told you a woman in Nepal could marry 3 men? Nepal is the ultimate destination for mountain lovers and thrill seekers chasing the chance to conquer the roof of the world. But beyond Everest, the nation's towering pride, lies a story far more wild and surprising. It's the birthplace of the Buddha, a land where